Good morning, folks, and welcome to this morning's show of Mark's Business Check-In. It's Wednesday, and thanks for joining me. I really appreciate it. We're live on TikTok, we're live on LinkedIn Live, we're live on Instagram, and we're also live on Facebook and YouTube, which is all our main channels. So I really appreciate you joining me. If this is your first time, welcome. And this morning, being the 18th of January, just let you know, it's wet outside, it's very windy, and that's if I'm just in Dublin, in our Dublin studios. This is the Dublin studios. And in London, Paris, and Dublin, it says around 5 to 6 degrees, but it feels like -3. So if you're out there walking around, just be very careful because it is very breezy, it is very wet here in the UK and Northern Ireland. They are experiencing a lot of snow up there as well, so just be careful. That was not your weather forecast. So good morning and welcome. I appreciate you coming on board. This morning I want to talk to you about something that a lot of entrepreneurs get caught up with and get lost in when they start their own business, especially when they've been going for about a year running their own business. And that's selling their company. And one of the challenges of running your own business is that after 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years of running your own business, you start to wonder, where are you going with all this? How do you get out of the business? How do you exit the business? Like, are you going to be working in this business for good? Is this your business? Is this what you will be doing till the day you retire? And then you just close down the business? Or will something else happen? Will you sell the business? Will you maybe hand it down to your son or daughter or another family member? Will you pass the business on? Will it keep going from one generation to the next generation? There's a lot of businesses that do that. An awful lot of small businesses, like plumbers, carpenters, electricians, a lot of counselling practice, a lot of solicitors firms, all types of companies, engineering companies, supermarkets. We've seen the likes of Dunn's and other supermarkets. So there's a lot of businesses that are passed down and passed over generation to generation, and they keep going. But there's many that are not, that when they get to a certain stage, that is it. But here's the thing you need to worry about and you need to be careful of. An awful lot of people, entrepreneurs and business owners, when they get about the second year into their business, maybe to third year into their business, they start thinking about selling. They start thinking about who will they sell to, what's my company worth? If I move around and make this amount of money, won't I do fantastic? Maybe someone else within the industry has sold. Maybe someone else within the industry was approached by someone else and they've sold a company and you've heard they've sold it for millions and it's gone really well. And you're going, wow, if I had that now, it'd be fantastic. Here's the challenge. The challenge is you cannot get caught up in that type of thinking. I read an article last week about Stripe and how the lads who run Stripe have a vision for the company for the next 10 to 20 years. Now, they're not interested in selling the company or going public. Now, you might say, well, they're worth so much money, they don't have to care. But you'll find an awful lot of businesses that do extremely well and grow extremely well are businesses where the MD or the owner or the owners are very, very focused on growing the business. They have maybe a 10 or 15-year plan of where they want to bring the business. They don't get sidetracked by hoping they'll sell the company tomorrow. They don't get sidetracked with stuff like that. They're very focused on where they want to bring the company. And the challenge with someone, you go and looking for someone to buy your company and all that type of stuff, is that it takes a lot of time. Even when someone comes to approach you to buy your business, and if you're lucky enough that someone comes to approach you to buy your business, and it doesn't happen every day, and it doesn't happen to every company in every industry, but if you are lucky that you are approached, first of all, you need to consider the offer very carefully. What is the amount of money they're giving you that is going to make it worth your while? And only then, if you're happy with the amount, do you move on to the next stage, which is the due diligence and the investigations and the accountants coming in and all that type of good stuff. And the reason you don't move on to that till you're really happy with the figure you're going to get is that all that stuff, and I've been there, takes up a massive amount of your time and your energy. And when you're working on someone buying your company and someone that's knocking on your door and wants to buy it, the amount of energy and the amount of time that you give that is time and energy that you're taking out of your business, that you've lost. It's gone. So if you're a small operation, maybe with a small management team of only 1 or 2 or 3 people, or maybe it's a small company of maybe 10 or 12 people or 10 or 15 people, that type of business needs to be minded daily. It needs to be protected, it needs to be driven, it needs to be focused, and it needs to be directed in the right way on a daily basis. So for you to suddenly come along and take a lump of your day and a lump of your week and a lump of your month, as some of these deals, one deal I did took nearly a year to put to bed. You are very focused, your mind is very focused on it, your energy goes into it, everything goes into it. And one of the reasons you put so much time into it, and here's the problem, one of the reasons you put so much time into it is that you have decided already that you're going to spend the money. So if someone offered you 1 or 2 million or 3 million or 4 million pounds for your business, you're already in your head starting to decide where you're going to spend that money, where you're going to put that money, what you're going to do with that money. You've already decided that. And because your mind is racing of the new car you're going to buy or the new house or the holidays you're going to go on, all your time is wrapped up, all your energy, all your creativity, all your time, everything in your head, your headspace, everything is wrapped up in managing that sale. And that's a lot of time out of your present business. And if you're the key person running your business and driving your business and focusing your business at the moment, and you only have a small management team or no management team, and you have a number of employees, that's time you cannot afford to take out of your day. So be very careful when you're running your own business. Just stay very, very focused on the next 5, 10 or 15 years. If something does happen and come from somewhere else, fantastic, absolutely brilliant if it happens. If it doesn't happen, you don't really mind. You weren't looking for it, you weren't planning on it. Then maybe 10 years into the business, you decide you've had enough and you want to find a buyer. But even doing that, and I've been there running a company, and after 3 years or 2.5 years, we decided we might amalgamate with somebody else, or get somebody else to buy us out. Even the time you take finding someone that may buy your company and then meeting that person and trying to formulate a deal, that's all you live and sleep is that deal. And that's time lost out of managing your own business on a daily basis, managing maybe the crisis management that happens, managing all the things that may go wrong. So you need to be very careful, as I said, when you're running your own business, stay focused. Stay focused on the next 10, 12, 13 years. Have a long-term plan where you want to bring the business. That's really important. So stay very focused and have this plan on paper. It's important to have the plan where you see the business in 10 years' time. That may seem a long time down the road, but it actually works. If you decide that within 5 years, you're going to be turning over 1, 2, 3, 4 million, put that down on paper, and that's part of your focus. If you decide you're going to be all over Ireland, all over the UK, all over France, all over America, whatever, right? Put that down in a long-term plan. But stay focused on the business you started. Don't get caught up just because someone else in your industry has decided to sell their company. And you don't really know why they've decided to sell their company. Maybe it's a cash flow reason. Maybe it's revenue reason. Maybe it's health reasons. Maybe they got lucky that someone who wants to be in that area is willing to pay top dollar to get a presence in maybe that market or that industry or that niche market. and that's why they're selling. Don't always assume because someone's selling that they're doing something better than what you're doing, or they're doing something different than what you're doing that makes them more attractive. Because equally, you can lose a lot of sleep and waste a lot of energy and a lot of time wondering why someone else was bought and not you. I know a friend of mine who sold his company a number of years ago, and he had decided that he was going to focus on building the business and going forward. And he had a business about 10 years. But he got lucky, and luck just come into him. A company from the States wanted to come into Ireland and start in that business niche that they're already in the States. So there are two choices. They could come into Ireland, start from scratch, find the premises, find the leasehold, find the staff, find the expertise, and then go find the customers and grow that way. Or they could come in and offer someone really good money and jump ahead 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7 years in the marketplace with customers in place, with revenue in place, with product development in place, with products in place, right? And that's what he decided to do. And he'll tell you himself, they offered him stupid money that no one else would offer him. But that's because they needed to come in here and they needed to be at a certain point and in a certain time, and they had the revenue and the wherewithal to make that sale happen very quickly, very quickly. But that happens rarely. So when you start your own company, and I've had coffees with loads of people. I remember even myself having a coffee with someone who has bought and sold a number of businesses, and I was only a year into a company, and I was saying, yeah, here's who I think will buy this company. And he said to me, no, forget about all that. Mark, forget about all that. The reality is, enjoy the journey. Enjoy the whole process of running your own business. Enjoy the hassle. Enjoy firefighting. Enjoy winning your customers. Enjoy losing your customers. Enjoy the staff problems. Just enjoy the whole journey, because the whole thing is a roller coaster. There's good days, there's bad days, there's in between days, but just enjoy the whole journey. Don't suddenly decide that you're going to get off midway on your journey. You're going to get off the train, on your midway to have a break or to look around and see is the scenery any better anywhere else. No, stay on the train, stay on the journey and see it through. And if along that journey someone comes along and says they would like to buy you, fantastic, absolutely brilliant. Clap your hands, have a party, whatever, right? If that happens halfway during your journey, as I said, absolutely brilliant. I'm going to take a drink, my throat's getting dry. I have ginger in that. I took a piece of ginger there. Ooh, doesn't taste nice. So, enjoy the journey. People always read stories in all the Sunday newspapers and all the business magazines of people selling and people doing crazy things and people doing great things, and you think, why is that not me? I'm doing something wrong. You're not. Just keep going forward. My advice each day is keep going forward. Stay very focused on the business you started. Stay very focused on your journey. Look ahead 10 years of where you want to bring the company. If things happen that makes things happen faster, absolutely brilliant. If one of the things I told you to have on your whiteboard around the 6th or 7th of January, if one of the 3 golden nuggets happen, fantastic. That will shoot the company miles ahead, and you'll get to the 10-year mark even sooner and have a new vision for 10 years. Where if it doesn't happen, have your 10-year goal and keep moving on. Keep moving on. And yes, you will get to a certain stage in the business or a certain stage in your life or a certain age that you might think, am I going to be in this for good? How am I going to get out of it? What am I going to do? But you're not there yet. And if you are there, well, that's a whole different process. Hopefully by now you've built up a company, you built up a strong customer base, you built up strong revenue, you're profitable and all that good stuff. And maybe you're 10 or 15 or 20 years in running this business and you think it's time to get out. That's a different story. Then it's approaching people like myself or accountants or other people in your industry, maybe somebody, one or two competitors, and saying, I'm thinking of selling. Are you interested in buying my business? But when you're starting off new, when you're starting off your first business, and days are hard and things are hard, don't be worrying about the future. Just keep getting up every morning and keep moving forward. That's the name of the game. It really is. There's been days when all of us have not wanted to get up. There's been days when we're wondering where the next €5 is going to come from. There's been days we're wondering why that customer dropped us and how we're going to survive without that customer, because it represented 20, 30, 40, 50, 60%, 70% of your turnover. And you're worried about where you're going to go with the business, what's going to happen now, how you're going to pay the bills tomorrow. We've all been there. But we all got up the next day and we did it again. And we got up the next day and we did it again. And we just keep moving forward. And that's the whole thing. Stay on the journey. It's hard. It's not for everyone. If it was for everyone, everyone would be doing it. If it was easy, everyone would be running their own business. And none of us would be working for anybody else. Now, in reality, that'll never work. We all need people to work for us. So if you want any more information, or if you're going through a tough time, or your company going through a tough time, or you want someone else's view on something, then all it will cost you is a cup of coffee with me. So if you want to chat with me over a cup of coffee, that's no problem. You're buying the coffee, right? Just reach out to me at markbeggs@gmail.com. If you're one of my friends from Finland or from the United States that's listening to me in New York or other parts of the States, we can have a virtual cup of coffee. Again, just reach out to me, markbeggs@gmail.com. So if you want me to work with you, if you want some advice, if you want to see how I can help you develop your business, and you want to spend €4 by having that cup of coffee, I only drink Americano, nothing special, nothing fancy. If you want me to have that cup of coffee with me, that's no problem. Just reach out and we'll arrange a time, markbeggs@gmail.com. And we can even do it as a virtual coffee, as I said, to my friends in the States and in Finland and in the UK, who I know I listen every morning. I see who's logging in. So if any of you want to have a virtual coffee and discuss anything, no problem. Just reach out, markbeggs@gmail.com. And make sure wherever you're looking at us from, you follow us, and especially on our Instagram, on our YouTube channel at The Mind's Eye Education. We've an awful lot of free videos up there. We've an awful lot of interviews with well-known entrepreneurs like Simon Woodruff from the founder of Yo Sushi, Brent Pope, and a whole load of other people, Samantha, a whole load of other people we've interviewed that are running their own businesses, are doing it for themselves out there, who are giving some great advice. We have Martin, I can't remember Martin's surname, who's doing Irish whiskey on the Boston River. A load of people, all different types of industries. So if you want to listen to any of those interviews, they're all free on our YouTube channel at Mind's Eye Education. So at Mind's Eye Education is our YouTube channel. Just hit the subscribe button there, so that way every time we put up something, a new interview free or a new training video, that you get notified. We're doing a couple of great interviews next week with some people who are running fantastic businesses. So keep an eye out for that. And if you have subscribed, you will get a notification as soon as that interview goes live. There's some great ones coming up now in the next week to 2 weeks. So keep an eye out for that. I need any information, as I say every week, on dyslexia. I'm dyslexic, dyspraxia, ADHD, or autism, anything like that. You need some free information. Are you looking for some advice? mindseyeeducation.com. mindseyeeducation.com. We have a lot of free information out on that site. Anne-Marie, who's a global specialist in that area, has been doing that, giving that advice and help for the last 20 plus years. And as I said, she's a global expert on neurodiversity and dyslexia and dyspraxia and ADHD. So if you need help there, reach out and we will help you the best we can. All right, I'm going to call it a morning on our YouTube channel. We'll be still live for a few more minutes on TikTok. Thanks for joining me this morning, folks. Really appreciate it. Be careful out there. It's very windy, and if you in some areas there's a lot of snow and rain, so just be careful. It's going to be one of those days today and tomorrow where it's going to be a lot of flooding and a lot of water around the place. So just be careful no matter how you're getting in. And don't forget, you can also get this on the replay on podcast later on this afternoon. So if you'd rather listen to us when you're walking, talking, cycling, driving, or riding that horse, just let me know and just listen to us. Just go into Spotify or wherever you get your podcast and just type in the name, Mark Beggs, and I will pop up. Have a great day. Take care of yourself.